and welcome back to Love Your Food. This week it's fresh fruit season again in Ontario, and we are making some beautiful golden plum and blackberry jam. Now, we did an apricot jam that's been very, very popular. Everyone seems to love the apricot jam, so we're going to try something a little different. We're going to be mixing fruits here, so let's get going with some of our ingredients. We have these beautiful little golden plums. We also have these blackberries. Now, we got these a little while ago and froze them, so that's why you see frost on them. We have some sugar. We have some salt and a little bit of lemon juice as well. So not many ingredients. We're going to start with our blackberries. Now, as I said, we bought those a couple weeks ago and froze them. They're fresh right now. If you have a chest freezer, preferably a chest freezer, one that doesn't auto defrost, you can certainly store fruit so that you can make jams of different kinds of fruit that are not in season at the same time. The blackberries were in season a little earlier. Now, these little golden plums, a lot of pectin in them, so they're really excellent for making jam. They're quite tart. They've got a lot of flavor, absolutely delicious, and we're just going to cut these. We're going to take the pit out, as you see Chef Caleb here, and we're going to cut them into 8. And we're trying to get a roughly the same volume of plums as we have of the blackberries. So we've got about 2 cups of each. Doesn't matter if it's exact, but we're just trying to get pretty close. So there we go. We have our blackberries, and those are still frozen. They'll thaw out in the pan. We're going to be cooking those for a good long time. So we're going to add our sugar. And then we're going to give everything a good stir to make sure that the fruit and the sugar are well combined and that all the fruit is well coated. So once everything is well mixed together here, we are just going to let that sit for a while. We want that to sit for probably about half an hour or an hour or so. We're just going to let some of the juices come out and let the flavors kind of marry a little bit. And you can see it comes out quite quickly. Makes that beautiful colored syrup, which is a combination of those golden plums and those blackberries. And those are just going to go straight into our pot. So you want to give a good scrape, make sure you're getting all of that amazing juice, lots and lots of flavor contained in that juice. And we like to use basically just enough sugar so that the pectin works and makes the jam. It's a little bit of a complicated chemical process. You can't cut the sugar so much that it's extremely tart because the pectin will not solidify. As you see, we're also going to add our salt and lemon juice. And just give that a little stir. And we do want this to come up to temperature pretty quick, so we're going to put this over medium-high heat and just let all of the fruit come up to temperature. You can see here it is cooking quite well now. It's no longer syrupy. It is quite hot, so it's moving very nicely when you stir it. And there's a bit of a foam coming up on the top now. We do like to skim this foam. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it will let your jam be much clearer once you put it in jars at the end. So you do want to skim this off. The other thing is if you intend to store your jam for a longer period of time, you definitely want to skim this because it does contain air bubbles and it will introduce oxygen into an anaerobic environment, which is not great. So we're going to test this after it's cooked for a while. We've got a plate from the fridge, and it should be it's not ready yet. You want to wait until when you pour it onto a cold plate from the fridge or freezer that it stops before it gets to the edge. So sometimes you have to try it a couple times. So this is still getting there. It's a little bit better. It's still not quite there yet. So you can see it's still quite runny. So we let this cook for a little while longer. Here's our cold plate from the freezer. And now it is stopping. So this is just about right. We actually cooked it for another couple of minutes after this. At this point, you can see it's quite dark. The blackberries have broken up quite a bit. The juices have all combined. It's beautiful dark, very rich in flavor. And from there, you just want to put it in your jars. So we've got 2 nice mason jars here. And we started with 4 cups of fruit, roughly. And it is now quite reduced from that. A lot of the liquid was evaporated, which intensifies the flavor. Those plums are really nice and tart. Those blackberries add this amazing richness to it. The flavor is fantastic. You can also season this if you like. There are ways to add other flavors to this, but that's it. So from here, it's into the fridge. You want to can these. They are shelf stable for quite some time if you've managed to skim most of the foam off. And I mean, absolutely delicious preserve. Delicious on all sorts of things. You can even use these in cocktails. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.